Okay, hi everybody. Welcome. Happy Valentine's Day. I am so excited to be here and to share with you this special Valentine's Day. A story from my new book, 50 True Phrasal Verb Stories. This is a special story for Valentine's Day. So you can see it right here. My new story, a story from my book. And this particular story comes from New Zealand. So if you don't know anything about my book, I just published a book called 50 True Phrasal Verb Stories, and it is a collection of stories from all around the world. And each story has one phrasal verb that I repeat over and over and over again so that you can learn that phrasal verb. So I'm just going to get started. I'm going to read this story. I'm going to talk a little bit about this story. And yeah, so this story was written by a lovely girl in New Zealand. Her name is Ross. And I'm just going to get started, okay? Kiss and make up. In English, we have a saying to kiss and make up, which refers to that thing that happens when a couple have a roaring fight and then they come back together and act all coy and tender as they make up. And yeah, there might be a lot of kissing involved. I admit I'm a fan of making up after a fight, but not necessarily in the sense of a couple that is always having big fights, but more in the sense of being a people pleaser and a peacemaker. So I want to stop here and show you that there are some words here that I think are a little bit more advanced, and on the side of the story, that's where you can find the definitions to those words if you don't know them. So like here, she says, but more in the sense of being a people pleaser and a peacemaker. So a people pleaser is someone who always wants to make other people happy. And so basically, she's saying that she really likes the peace part. So she doesn't like having fights, but she really likes forgiveness. She likes that moment where you forgive each other and you understand each other. I hate sitting with unresolved conflict. So that's conflict that you cannot fix. When I have a big fight, when I have a fight with somebody because we have different opinions or because I have felt let down or they have let me down, the tension sitting between us tortures me. So here, let down means to disappoint. So I have felt let down is like feeling like someone has disappointed you, and or they have let me down. Which means they disappointed me. So that tension of disappointing each other is really difficult. Conflict is important. It is important to hold opinions that are true to you. Our opinions define our psychological lines so we can learn to know ourselves. Also, it is important to express or to say your truth when the actions of someone else, another, have had an impact on you. So it's important to say what we are feeling when someone hurts us. And as hard as it is important to learn when our actions have had an unfortunate or not a good impact or result on someone else. But even though I believe in conflict, whenever I'm stuck, can't move, in that icky feeling, icky's like yucky, gross, slime, I am dying to reach out, and ask to make up. Making up with someone is a beautiful process. It is when we allow our guard to come down. So, our guard is like our shield or that thing that protects us. So, when we let our guard come down, it means like when we stop trying to protect ourselves, to pull down the defensive walls of pride and anger. So, the same way, pulling those things that we use to protect ourselves, letting those things down so that we can really connect with someone. And when we pull those walls down, we allow the stream, like water, stream of vulnerability. And vulnerability here means being open about ourselves. So again, this theme of being open about yourself. We allow the stream of vulnerability to wade in and soften us. We might have to admit shortcomings or our mistakes where we don't meet our own expectations. To make up with someone may require some element of making up a story so we don't stay trapped in believing we are absolutely right or know everything. So when you are in a conflict or have an issue with someone, it's important because we learn that we're not always right. Well, maybe some people. But the most important thing about making up with someone else is in the process of making up, we continue to make ourselves or grow, right? Growing ourselves into the person that is wiser, more open to others, and more humble. So there were a lot of big words in this one. And I really love this story because it just talks about, it's not really a moment from this girl's life, but it is like, it's a lesson that she has learned by making up with people. So basically, to make up is a phrasal verb, and just like all phrasal verbs, it has a few different meanings. The phrasal verb here comes from the saying to kiss and make up. And this is an expression in English that we use to talk about forgiveness, about forgiving each other. And it's not necessarily romantic. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it usually is. So even if there's no actual kissing, you could still say something like, oh, my best friend and I disagreed about something, but I'm sure we'll kiss and make up. You could say that. It's a little bit weird, but it just means to make up with someone means to forgive each other and to learn from each other. So I hope you enjoy this reading from my book. If you're interested in reading more stories with phrasal verbs and context, you can go to my website, www.phrasalverbstories.com. I have a few versions there, a few versions of this book, and but both versions, either the Windows and iOS version or the Android version, they both come with free audio. So if you enjoyed my voice and me reading this, you can go to, on the website, you will find free audio, and both books come with free audio so that if you want to be able to work on your pronunciation, you can do that. And then also along with the audio, you will receive a free companion guide, which is interactive, so you can use it, work with it to continue practicing these phrasal verbs. So my book has 51 of these stories, and there's more than 37 countries represented. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna take the story off here, and okay, everybody, there I am. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you please make sure you follow me, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to me here and on Instagram and TikTok and all that. I'm gonna go enjoy this beautiful weather. Okay, bye everyone.